Hello. Welcome to the second episode of That Dude podcast with that dude, me, Tom Byron. And I'm having a really bad hair day today. So I'm going to wear my XPW hat. Wait, I fucked it. No, that's good. Okay. 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 I was going to wear this hat, but I didn't want to trigger people. Even though it says Make America Italian again, people can't read these days. So in the interest of non-triggering, I will not wear this hat. All right, let me bring on my co-host, the lovely, legendary Christy Canyon.
Woo! Back for episode 2. Congratulations. And I got it from girls in the business and are now contacting me.
I know.
Tom's podcast. When can I get on? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'll do a group text. It's his show. I'm my carnival act. So,
yeah.
So,
well, it's a very chill vibe, as our guest will soon see.
Yes. Very chill.
Now, let me ask you this, because I was thinking about this before the show. Were you? I know you and Nikki were both Vivid girls, but were you Vivid girls at the same time? Did you coexist in the Vivid universe?
We did for a very short time. When she kind of signed on, we did one movie together with Rocco Stafretti called Sex. And then I took a 2-year break.
I think I was in that.
You were on the set. It was at some house in the hills.
Is it Jack Margolis's house?
I don't know his house. It was just a house with a beautiful view of like LA.
Yeah. Yeah. Jack Margolis is actually famous in his own right. He wrote a book called A Child's Garden of Grass. It was like a counterculture icon type book about marijuana, And he, like, I don't know, he was like an old hippie. And that was his house.
Okay.
And that was actually, he also owned the house where we shot Kinky Business and Sister Dearest. It was right up near Miller Drive, right off Sunset.
I was not in those 2 movies. That was, I think, in '83 before I got in the business. So I think you did those with Ginger.
Yeah, Ginger and Tracy.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
No, you broke up. It was like a little.
No, I wasn't in those. But very cool little trivia there. I do remember that house. There was a staircase. We're going back to 1992. I think we shot.
Oh yeah.
Who was in that? Larry White. That was the first time in my career. They're like, hey, Peter North couldn't make it. Larry White could do the scene. And I took one look at him and said, for the first time, no, he's a sweetheart, but there's no chemistry there on my end. And that was Crystal White's husband, I think.
Yeah. Okay, I was trying to like place him. Yeah. Larry White. Yeah, I remember him.
So sweet. But if someone's thighs are bigger than my Armenian thighs, I can't work with them.
Yeah. He was a little rough, but nice guy.
He ended up being a DJ in the later 90s at a club in Anaheim on Ball Road by Disneyland, the Pink Flamingo. And he's like, you said no to me. Oh my God. But he wasn't mad. And I said, I know, and I'll still say no to you. Like, I don't have that many standards, but it's just not my, cute little skinny white guy, not my bag, not my cup of tea, if you will. But and a great DJ, an amazing.
There's a good dollar in that gig.
Oh yeah, at a strip, especially because all the girls, the features, and the house girls, all tip you out at the end of the night. Great club. But back to your question, yes, I did work in that film with Nikki, although we didn't work together. And then we did a magazine layout together before that for Ron Vogel. Good old Palm Agency. Which was just
Palm Agency. That was those 2. They were Czechoslovakian or something, right?
No, Ron Vogel was Palm 8.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Whom? Oh, I'm thinking of RBK.
No, I remember them though. And you had
Remember
to,
them? Yeah, Rudy and Blanca.
and you had to stand in position for 10 minutes. And you're like,
Yeah.
this is no fun. I like just flowing through a magazine. But they were like,
Oh yeah.
they
Yeah.
had
They were.
lights, and you're like, are you fucking kidding? Like, take the picture. You know, so, anyway, love them as people. My least favorite photographers to work for, only because every shot took, let's say, 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. I think they both had OCD.
They must have. I would not want to see their Tupperware drawer. But they were very sweet people. And I did a shoot for them with, I'm going back to the 80s with Julia Parton. Remember Julia Parton?
Yeah. I did the Joan Rivers show in New York. It was me and her.
I loved her. She used to always say she was Dolly Parton's like niece or something. Who knows? We all had our own little made up stories to justify what we were doing in 1984. But
I got another Julia Parton story, and it actually involves our friend Ronnie.
okay.
It was remember there was a place called Sam Menning Studio, and it was right across the street from the Chinese Theater and right next to a club called Seven Seas, which was like a punk club.
I used to go to Seven Seas in the 80s all the time. I loved it.
And I had done a shoot or something for Sam, and I was coming down, and in the parking lot behind it, next to Seven Seas, Ron was like in a verbal face-off with some guy, you know, and me, I'm just kind of standing in the background going, well, what is this all about? And apparently that guy that he was in the verbal standoff with was Julia Parton's boyfriend. And Julia Parton had, apparently accused Ronnie of the R word, which, just means Ronnie's being Ronnie. And, and I never remember this because they were going back and forth. And he goes, I eat her pussy. Rabbits don't eat pussy. So that was his justification for,
That's so wrong. But let's bring our guest on, because you and I, Tom,
I know
about these amazing, crazy characters that we encountered over 40 years. But we encountered our guest today about 30 years ago. And let's bring her on because I absolutely love her. Like, love her.
Let's not waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss NIKKI DIAL. Hello.
I absolutely love you so much, my vivid sister.
Who's the lucky guy over here?
I love you too, Tom.
We all love Tom. We all love everything. Here's the thing. When we were Vivid Girls, our paths crossed for a minute there on one film. I don't remember ever having bad relationships with any of the Vivid Girls. Do you, Nikki? Because I get that question a lot. I love all of us. We all knew our place. I wasn't Hypatia. I didn't want to be Ginger. I didn't want to be me. We all were very comfortable with who we were as individuals in the 90s.
I think that is true, but I also think that like the people who ran Vivid did a really wonderful job at making every girl feel individually special. So we didn't feel like we had to compete.
Great point. I agree with that as well. It was just really one happy, functional family.
I should have been a Vivid boy.
They did have one.
I know.
Vivid man. I do.
They had two.
John Doe
and Stephen St. Croix.
You're right. You're right.
Stephen St. Croix worked for me and broke his contract and got booted.
I remember he did like a gonzo, if I recall. And Steve, Vivid said, what part of contract do you not understand? I thought it was for, films. And he's like, no, it's everything on film, video.
I know that was my That was my movie that got him fired. Sorry.
Well, I've never wanted to get fired. I love it. They were the best.
It was very hard to be fired there.
I'm sorry to get that. Someone needs to invest in a good webcam. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. What was that, Nikki?
I said it was very hard to get fired from Vivid, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody that got fired. A few people left, like Ashley Muir, and she went to your company, Tom. She went to Extreme. Hypatia left. A few people did leave, but deep down, unless you quit, but if you went somewhere else, I always wondered if they regretted it, because we really were, no offense against your company, Tom, but we were the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
You know,
That's true.
We still needled you a little bit. You know, we had those T-shirts. Remember, it said "Stream Girls Fuck, Vivid Girls Suck." I wish I still had one of those.
Both. Nikki and I did both. So there we go. But it was apples and oranges. You couldn't compare the company. We were definitely the vanilla company. I will agree with that.
Oh, I enjoyed working for PT especially. I mean, PT was my boy.
the first one. Mm-hmm.
Was so what?
Quirky and fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I like PT as a person. I like PT as a person. I'm not going to lie. I was happy when Ralph Parfait took over.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Armstrong took over my last couple of films. PT and I had known each other since the 80s. We were scared of each other.
Well, you probably worked with him, right?
I did a couple of times. Nice guy. Nice guy. But I think blood, and I think he did too. It's not a diss against anybody. You like fresh.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of fresh, when did you get in the business, Nikki? What year? I remember you got in through Reb. You were a Reb girl.
Yeah, I walked into Reb's office in 1991, maybe early 1992. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you and Kelly Odell got in at the same time, right around the same time.
Yeah, I remember picking her up at the airport.
Yeah, that was the two.
Yep.
That was the buzz back in the early '90s. That Red had these two incredible looking girls. It was you and Kelly Odell. I remember that. I remember that era very well.
I texted her a few times. She's back in Philadelphia doing well.
Yeah, I think she's one of my Facebook friends.
She was really a little petite blonde, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, she ended up hooking up with Ernie. Remember Ernie? Christy? Ernie, the lighting guy.
If I saw him,
you'd totally know him if you saw him.
I would.
I mean, I don't want to say his whole name, but
no.
But the lighting guy, I think she married. I think she married him. I don't know.
Oh.
I've kind of lost contact with a lot of people. So.
Yeah, as did I.
But you got your two Vivid girls right here, baby.
Oh yeah.
Now, Tom, whenever anybody asks me who my favorites are, I do. This is honest to God truth. I was Rocco and you. You were my two favorites.
Oh, Rocco. Jeez, I'm in good company.
You knew that. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that. I do know that you dated very briefly a friend of mine, Mark. I was very jealous. I never told you, but
oh my God, I forgot.
I was going like,
that relationship. It went south.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
He's a strunz. But I remember being very like, what's she doing with that guy?
He was,
even though he was my friend.
The only they ever dated.
Yeah, I think I think so too. You learn your lesson.
He was such a nice guy. He was such a nice guy. I know who you're talking about. He's one of the few guys that I would hook up with off camera just because there was something very nurturing about him.
Oh yeah, yeah. You go over to his house, he'd make you, fucking food. You like to cook.
Yeah.
He was.
Yes.
He was very. Yeah. Yeah. He liked when people came to his house and show off. He liked to show off his house and all his little. It reminds me of Dirk Diggler in Boogie Nights. Remember? And he's showing Amber. Oh, look at this! Is my French design special bedspread and all that shit. That was him. He liked to show off his little art pieces and shit.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Now, Nikki, I want to ask you, even though I asked you this a few years ago, but I think that people watching podcasts are going to want to know. You took a lot of time off. I mean, MIA, underground.
I know.
Completely out of the public eye. And then about a year and a half ago, you resurfaced. And I'm like, this isn't Nick. Don't be a fake on Instagram. You're like, it's me. You can call me, block your number. Here's my number. And so I'm like, 69 or whatever it is to block the number. I'm like, Nikki, it really is you. So my question is for everybody watching That Dude podcast. What was that aha moment where you were like, I want to pull that, Nikki Dial character out of the closet and kind of make a little appearance? Because you took a lot of time off. Like, I've been around 40 years, even though I may not have been making films. I was on radio for 8 years or OnlyFans. I never completely, vanished. What was that aha moment, Nikki Dial, where you were like, I'm going to reappear?
I will say I didn't realize, not to sound, like narcissistic, but I didn't realize how big of a name Nikki Dial was when I was in films. I had no clue really how popular I had become. So when I stepped away, I was just like, who's gonna miss me, and then years later, I mean, people would still come up to me. So people have come up to me and say, oh my gosh, where have you been? They still recognized me. And, the older I got, I lived my life. I had a career. I got married. I got divorced. I did a lot of things that I wanted to do. There's just still a side of me that I was trying to, I don't want to say squash down. I'm not embarrassed of it by any means. I'm proud of who I am. I thought, why not? Like,
oh, hell yeah.
I don't a huge reason other than why not. I'd want to do it before I get, I don't want to say too old where I can't, but why I'm still active and I can do things. And
right.
So
no, that makes total sense.
Pardon?
And the other good thing, I think, is that the people from our era, the 80s and 90s, were like, remember back in the 80s and 90s, you had supermodels. You'll never have another supermodel like
yeah.
another wrestler per se, like Hacksaw Jim, and it was such a unique time.
Yeah.
I think, Nikki, why you didn't realize how popular you were is because it was pre-social media.
Yeah.
People go,
how would you know?
It was like you were gone. People may have said to their friend, "Oh, what happened to that?" But now you'd see it all over social media. Hey, what happened to Nikki? You'd be like, "Oh, they know me." But back then, no one said anything.
Yeah. And now, thanks to social media, you can actually make money off your persona.
Yeah. That was the other thing. I was like, the people are still making money off of what we did, and I didn't make any money off residuals or anything that's out there, from my previous years. So I thought, why not make some? Nobody is.
And now we're in this beautiful era, you and I and Tom. He's on Loyal Fans, which I'm trying to get going. I still have OnlyFans. You have OnlyFans.
I don't know.
We own it now. It's such a different era where the talent owns our own stuff now. Now, granted, we have to work 24/7, but you know, we own it now. Like before we'd work, we'd go take a week off. We didn't even have cell phones in the 90s. You know, maybe you had that one in your car that was like $5.99 a minute, but like once you were done working, in the day, you were done until the next.
Movies, we worked 6 days a week. That's it. I mean, I'm sorry, 6 days a month. We shot the movie and then we did a day or two for box covers, and the rest of the month off.
Unless you went dancing for a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't dance till after I did my movies, but yes.
Okay. So
there's a lot more opportunities for women though, not men.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't the webcamming thing, loyal fans, only fan. I don't think it's for me, man. I spent like a couple hours this weekend, like in front of the camera, and nobody. It's like I don't think it's my thing. Nobody wants to, talk to a 63-year-old man. I guess I don't know.
I'm going to agree with you. I will agree, Tom, that it's harder for guys to make money off those sites. I do agree, unless maybe you're like Jeff Stryker. If you guys remember Jeff Stryker.
Yeah, but
huge male following, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the podcasting thing is something that maybe have some legs on it. I don't know. If I have interesting guests like Nikki, like yourself, I can't lose,
Oh, you're going to get all kinds of great guests. And then pepper it in with the newer girls here and there just to see what their are. Because our experience. You were living in that era with us.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I can actually give advice. I actually saw a YouTube video with Bill Maher and Haley Welch, the Hawktua girl. And I kept thinking that is sort of like it's going to be for me to interview a young porn starlet, because she didn't remember she didn't know who like Woody Harrelson was. She didn't know who and it was like an old man telling an 18-year-old girl about life, and I kind of imagine that's how me interviewing a 18, 19-year-old porn starlet would be like.
I agree. I was watching Patrick Palmer's last night or a week, whatever, and he had some young on, and someone said, "God, you look like a young Annie Sprinkle," and she was like a doe in the head. Google it. Something came up. She's like, "Oh, I think," but she had no idea who Seika was, Ginger, myself, and what are you gonna do?
Well, let me ask you this, Nikki. When you got in, did you recognize that? Did you watch porn before you got in it? Did you recognize
nothing?
Yeah.
Nobody. I had no clue. I was a fresh-faced, baby going in. I kind of like it that way because I wasn't intimidated. Yeah, you had no preconceived notions of anybody, their personality or whatever. Whereas I knew everybody before I got in the business. Like I'd watch so much like porn doing my research that when I met Paul Thomas and Herschel Savage and John Leslie and all these people, I felt like I knew them already.
Right.
You know what I mean? I remember, it's like John Holmes. I'm sitting there playing horseshoes with John Holmes. It was the most surreal moment of my life because, this was a guy I was watching in theaters back in Houston. All of a sudden, I'm playing horseshoes with, and he was very competitive. Yeah. I kept beating him. So we had to go in to shoot the box cover. So I actually threw the game and let him win, so we could get the photo shoot done. There's my John Holmes story.
When you were with the girl, how long were you actually with Vivid for starters?
I believe I was with Vivid for between 6 months and a year.
But that's not that long.
Yeah. She was a short timer. I remember.
And why so short? Like I was there for a decade. They finally had to be like, Christy, aren't you ready to retire? But when you were for such a short time, what was one of your favorite memories, whether it was a box cover shoot or a film convention? Because we did everything for Vivid. We did all the shows, we did the box cover days.
Yeah.
And what was one of your favorite fuzzy memories?
I really loved doing the box covers. And do you remember William Hawk?
The photographer.
He shot all.
Yes.
The photographer.
Yes.
Hawk Studios.
Yes, I do. Down like on the other side of the hill and like by Venice Beach or something.
Yes.
And he has
Yes. I actually.
roll up.
Yeah.
That name sounds
I
so
love
familiar to me.
And
William
Alexis,
Hawk. Yeah.
Alexis used to do our makeup.
Alexis was the best.
Yeah.
So, and something's happening here. Okay. My favorite story with you, Christy, was when we did that photo shoot with Alexis. I mean, not Alexis, with
Ron.
What?
With Ron Vogel.
Ron.
Alexi did the makeup in his studio.
Yes. And I had not really done many photo shoots yet, even at that point. You were one of my first. And I was so embarrassed because I had no concept of what nipple hair was. And you guys were like, you need to pluck those nipple hairs. And I was like, what? My nipple hairs. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's one of my favorites about you.
When I shot in 84 for Stephen Hicks, I did it. I have a story like that when I shot for Stephen Hicks for Penthouse. I get naked and he's like, "Did you ever trim your bush?" I'm like, oh, no. And he's like, "No, it's too hairy." And he's like, "Do you mind?" And I said, "No." And I remember like lying down and he's like a fucking Picasso, like cutting it, looking, brushing it, and, you know, so
no.
thank God people look out for what? It was nice that people looked out for us with grooming because we were young, we were innocent. I didn't know what an overgrown chillipet was down there. You didn't understand the nipple hairs. Thank God someone.
When did the ball shaving come into play?
The what?
The ball shaving. Like
ball shaving.
If you watch porn now, everyone has shaved balls.
I can appreciate a shaved ball.
Yeah, but I don't like the groin shaved. It's too it's a little not my style. It's very metrosexual to have everything shaved on a guy. I don't like that.
Yeah. You gotta leave it like a little, you know, little something.
I agree. I'm not saying I turned one down that was shaved, but personally I like the little bit of hair down there.
Yeah.
I was just trying to pinpoint when exactly that time was when everyone decided. It was like unanimous thing. Everyone decided, okay, we're all going to shave our balls now.
Maybe the new millennium.
Yeah, it must have been.
I don't know. I don't know. But Tom, I'll tell you my favorite story with you.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't remember what movie it was for, but we were doing a scene together. We were on a couch, and I was like, okay, he likes, you know, butt play. And I would never do anal. I wouldn't on film. I did one movie, but I wouldn't at the time. And I remember you were into it, and you were into like spanking, and I was like, no other guy would do that. And we had the best scene, I thought, for me anyway. I'll speak for myself. When I think we forgot about the cameras, and then when we were done, we didn't realize we were done, and everybody we got a standing ovation.
Yeah, I remember that.
But
it was on a. Yes, I do. But it was on a bed. It wasn't on a couch.
Okay. I thought it was on a couch.
No, it was on a bed.
I'm gonna look
Maybe
it up.
Maybe it was a
You have to
story.
look. You know what? Maybe okay. Maybe my memory's a little. So we're gonna have to do a little research. We're gonna have to
We're gonna have
look that up and figure it out. But I remember a bed. I definitely remember the scene, but I think it was on a
Okay.
bed.
Okay, you know what? You might both be right. It could have been a sofa couch.
Could have been a bed. It could have been a bedroom with a sofa in it, and then we moved from the sofa to
I
the
know, I
chair
should look it
to the couch to the bed, back to the bed.
So Nikki, after you left Vivid after 6 months a year, what did you do after that?
Yeah.
Did you go with your company? Did you just go dance on the road, or did you disappear at that point?
At that point, not long after that, I had a boyfriend at the time, and who was not in the business. Well, I'm not going to say that. He was not in the business. I'll just leave it there. I told him that I wanted to move back home, and I moved back home to Pennsylvania. So I was gone out of LA, gone out of the scene, and then I did dance for the next 7 years. I did tour.
Okay, that's a long time. So when did you stop dancing? When was your, like, I stopped dancing in like 2002. When did you quit the dancing?
Okay. I believe it was about 2000.
Yep, it started.
2000.
The tide turned on the road. Suddenly people had video cameras. And I remember being at a club and someone pulled out like a little camera. I missed the
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah,
sounds.
I think the whole feature dancing thing kind of fizzles out, or am I wrong? Since there's no physical media, since there's no porn stars
Right.
anymore, or feature dance club still a thing?
There's a few that did.
It changed everything. Like I remember the Spearmint Rhinos, which to this day are one of my favorite clubs.
Yeah.
Contract in 2001, they now have in the contract, we could videotape you to put on our website. And I remember thinking, that's not fair. You know, and that's when I decided that the gig was up. I had a great 10-year run. It was time to hang up the old garter belt, if you will. And then I got so it worked out perfect.
I think I remember. I think I remember watching you at a Spearmint Rhino in Van Nuys once. Me and Rob came by when you were dancing. I think it was on Oxnard.
Who, Nikki or me?
Oh, you.
Oh, probably. I don't remember that. I don't remember, and I'm very good at remembering things. That I don't remember.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
That's okay.
This person keeps calling me like Scam Likely. I've never heard a name like that. Should I call him Scam or Mr. Likely?
She's a new girl in the business.
I'm not going to answer it. I never heard of a name called Scam Likely.
Yeah.
New girl in the business. She's hot. You'll love her. So how does it feel, Nikki, now to have your toe back in the business as far as doing podcasts, going to the conventions, having an Instagram, having a Twitter, and an OnlyFans and a loyal fans? How does it feel to have like that right foot back in the business?
I'm going to tell you what, I'm having so much fun. Now, I still work a 40-hour-a-week, like real job. I'll say real, it's not a day job. And then I do all of this on the side. I am just waiting for the time to, like, when the tides turn and I'm not gonna, I'll stop my day job and then just do this for a while, full time.
Now,
but I'm having so much fun.
Okay, so let's say you get to that point, Nikki, where you're like, okay, I'm tired of getting up at 7 in the morning, working 9 to 5. But you take your performance in adult another notch. Maybe do a little routine. I don't know, with me, something like that. Like
yes, hell yes.
Something like that. Instead of just conventions, incorporate putting that second foot back in.
Absolutely, yes. That's in the back of my mind, and my wheels are turning. Yes.
You gotta.
Yes.
I
I
think
want to do acting roles.
all three of us, I think, could agree that if you own this business and don't let it own you, it could go on forever.
Yeah.
It could go on. I just did a huge movie for Vixen, like a $300,000 budget, like their highest one of the year. I had
Yes.
so much fun. It was such a different experience. I loved it, though. I got to tell you, I loved it. This production, though, was better than anything I've ever been on in my past. It was amazing. Vixen is a great company.
I don't know.
Didn't you just do something?
Somewhat.
Didn't you just do something for Milfy?
Yes, which is owned by Vixen.
Oh, is that okay? I don't know these things yet, so okay.
Yeah, I can't keep track of all the new people in it either.
It was so fun, Nikki, because I'm single. I'm like, I'm just gonna go. Why not? I'm not paying anybody.
Yeah.
It works for me. It's always, and it was on my terms. It was who, all my, things were hit. Okay. I love them, and I think Caden Cross was the best director I've had maybe ever. He's fabulous.
Wow.
I have a really bad thing to say about that set, but the point is, we can always jump back in, and then we can go, okay, I'm done again for another 20 years. Bring out the Walker, and I'll do another film in 20 years.
Yeah.
The fucking dentures and the wheelchair. I'm ready again. It's always there for us. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself. I got to hang up my spurs in that arena.
Why?
Oh.
I'm old. I'm 63 years old. Nobody wants to see me naked.
I'm not much younger than you, and they apparently still want to see this little girl still naked.
I don't know how much
Yeah.
are they paying? How much are they paying out there? Money talks.
Bullshit walks.
Exactly.
They were good to me, but that's one thing.
If there are enough dollars, then it makes sense.
I agree. Because I don't care how much fun we have, and we always have fun, it does come down to the dollar. It
Oh
comes.
yeah.
Yeah.
It always.
Because not you
Yeah.
know we're not sitting back getting residuals or anything like that. So that's always been my position. It's like, oh, you don't like my rate? Well, tough shit. It's like you get to keep this medium forever, and I get what I get on the set. So fuck you, pay me.
Right. I get that. Now, I did get royalties at Vivid till it all went to catalog.
Yeah.
And then the owner was like, I can't pay you $1 a take because I'm only making $3, So
Right.
it was nice.
Hey, I'm Tom Byron, host of That Dude Podcast, sponsored by Green Genie. Your wish is my command. How good are Green Genie gummies? Let me tell you, Green Genie gummies are so strong they will quickly turn this dude into that dude. So go to greengenieny.com. That's greengenieny.com. They got gummies, they got chocolates, they got cooking oil, everything to help make America stoned again. greengenieny.com. Go now.
Now, when you go to a convention, Nikki, and we're talking about the Exoticas, they're 4 times a year. They are the most amazing conventions. When you go to them, what percentage of your fans that come up, they get a photo, they buy a t-shirt, whatever, because I know you got a lot of merchandise. What percentage are from your 90s era versus what percentage are these new young cubs that want that MILF experience?
You know what? I would say 80% are fans that have followed me from when I was in my 20s, and then 20% the newcomers. Like, who are you? You're hot, hot MILF. But again, MILF is like the new thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a MILF series. I won an AVN Award for Best MILF Series 3 years in a row.
Really?
Yeah.
When you sold your company, who did you sell to, and did you make a decent deal?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Who? Tom Byron Pictures?
Yeah, when you sold, because you had your own company.
Yeah, no, it was a name only.
Okay.
I didn't own it. I owned the content, but not the distribution of it. You know what I mean? Like, I can use that content, but I can't. I didn't make the DVDs or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But I want to learn about this convention business, because I want to start doing that circuit. Autograph shows, adult conventions, all that shit.
I think.
Yeah.
Evan Stone always goes.
Yeah. I want to kind of like what he does,
I don't even know if he's going to continue to go in the near future. He's got other stuff going on.
Well, he ran for office or something in Nevada. I read. He didn't win, but it's still cool he ran.
What we should do, and what you could do, Nikki, or I'll do, is do like a 3-way text with Dan, who owns the Exotica, and Tom. I don't see why you shouldn't do them. I think that you would be amazing at one of those shows. Herschel Savage went to one.
Yeah.
Now that was the worst convention I'd ever been. They only had it 1 year. It was dead. You shoot a cannonball through it. And where was it? Portland. It was
Portland?
really,
wow.
Portland.
It was Portland right before COVID, I think.
I ain't going to Portland.
No, don't worry. They cut that out. It was like you walked in to the convention and there was Janine, myself, Julia, Ann. The first 3 hours on a Friday night, instead we were just catching up on gossip. Someone would come up and would be like,
Wow.
"How are you?" And they'd be like, "Just looking." So 3 top Vivid girls, 3 of the many top Vivid girls could pull in somebody. You had no chance.
I think it was just Portland.
It was just Portland. It was just, but that's the one that
Portland.
That's the one that he went to. Yeah, he met a few people, but I'm telling you, Jersey and Chicago are the 2 that you should try and go to. And Jersey's coming up.
Yeah. I'm planning on going to. Yeah, Jersey and Chicago is close for me. I mean, I could actually drive to either one of those places. So, because I'm not a big fan of planes. I'll get on them if I have to go to LA or go to wherever. But if I can drive, I'd rather do. Like when I moved to New York, I drove all the fuck way out here. It was great. I highly recommend it.
Okay, I get that.
Tom, you're near me.
Yeah. You're like what, 2-3 hours down the road? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Should come up here and have a garbage
together.
plate. Yeah, there you go.
Have a
carpool. Have a garbage plate up here in Rochester. That's what they're famous for.
Garbage plate. Okay.
It's like
I never heard of that.
It's actually drunk food. It's like two hamburgers with cheese on them, on top of macaroni salad and tater tots, and then covered with this meat sauce. It actually sounds really good and looks really gross, but it actually tastes very good when you're drunk at 3 a.m.
It does.
I love to drink and I love to eat.
And Tom, how is it for you? Because you kind of laid low for a decade plus as well. You're kind of coming back out. You got your book coming out. You got your new podcast, That Dude podcast. How is it for you to be able to reconnect with your girls from 20, 30 years ago? Is it so much fun for you to see? Nikki looks great. Christy looks decent. Like, is it good for you to be able to reconnect with us?
Yeah, it's fun, I always like when I see people I haven't seen in a while, especially ones that, you know, I kind of had a crush on back then,
It's fun.
And he's talking about a crush on you because Tom was a very kind, honest man and said he used to make fun of me behind my back.
I made fun of you. Tracy and I would discuss how naive you and other 18-year-olds were. It wasn't specifically directed towards you, but the naivete of 18-year-olds such as yourself.
We could only
When she was like 16 years old, saying all this.
If I only had the self-esteem of that 16-year-old, right?
Yeah.
He was a crazy. Like, okay, Mickey, we used to be on the set back in the mid-'80s. Tracy Lords, Ginger Lynn, myself, and like they'd come around for lunch, and they'd say, "Okay, we're going to get Thai food for lunch," and Tracy would say, "I want deli food," or whatever it was. And so they'd say, okay, Tracy, whatever you want. And they'd say, what about you, Christy? And I'd be like, I'll eat anything. I don't really care. Someone's buying me lunch for I'm so worried about just getting free lunch. But when she'd say, I'd be like, oh, you don't like Thai food? Oh, I like it. I just want to make them know who's in charge. And I'm like, no, I want that self-esteem. Like,
yeah, she tended to flex her.
Huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what the hell? She was working. She was literally working every day she wanted to. She had to like ask for time off. I remember that.
Yep.
Wow.
Funny. Now, have you heard, like, once you got in the business, Nikki, had you heard of people like Tracy Lords from the day?
I learned about her.
Right.
I didn't I got into the business right after high school. I wasn't watching too much porn, and I went to a Baptist high school.
I went to a Baptist college. I went to a Houston Baptist University for like half a year, just because I wanted to move to Houston so I could go to porn theaters, on the weekend.
I got my master's at a Baptist university.
Yeah, it's not called Houston Baptist anymore. It's called Houston Christian University. But I didn't graduate. I wanted to move to California to do porn, so I dropped out.
And here you are, 40 plus later. Because you got in 82?
Yep.
82?
May of 82.
Okay.
This is my 40th year being in the business.
Wow.
How crazy
You
is
don't
that?
look
What?
You don't look old enough.
You're so cute. Thank you. I am. But you do the best you can. You try, as long as you just take care of yourself and try and be as healthy as possible.
Yeah, don't smoke. Stay away from drugs. All that good Hulk Hogan advice.
Exactly. Get massages and facials and vacations. Like Ginger and I leave 2 days for Cabo San Lucas for 8 days.
Oh,
Nice.
Girls trip, just the girls, just the two of us in Cabo.
Make sure you shoot me some footage. We'll play it on the show when you come back.
Definitely. Everyone's like, oh my God, you are going to Mexico. It's so dangerous. I'm like, I live in LA. It doesn't get much more dangerous than this these days.
Exactly.
I'm not, what are they going to do with two old biddies? I wear this necklace. I wear no other jewelry. We're bringing $300. Like, no one's going to mess with these old witches.
well, have fun.
Yeah, definitely have fun. I'm thinking about, because you're going to be gone for like 10 days. I'm thinking about doing a podcast with my sister and her boyfriend, who I haven't met yet. What do you think, Christy?
Absolutely.
It'll be my first show flying solo without you.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
You will have to hold my hand, in spirit. Hold my hand in spirit from Mexico.
Other thing we could do, and I can't guarantee because they claim they have good internet at the hotel, the resort. But what we could do is do a testing and see if we could at least
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. I mean, it couldn't be any worse than the feed I got right now because I can hardly hear you. But that's okay.
So
Hopefully I can fix it in post.
when we get settled, we'll do a test run with Ginger, and you could have us both.
Right on. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah, we may be drunk. I'm not going to lie. We may be a couple sheets to the wind.
That's
Even better.
perfectly fine. All right. So Nikki, what do you want people to know about you? You know,
I get put on. You know, I want people to know that I am obviously that I'm back. There's still people that message me and say, "Oh my God, I didn't even know you were on Twitter, and I didn't even know you were on Instagram." So just really getting the word out that
I kind of knew that you were back, but it wasn't really until you followed me, and I was like, "Oh, Nikki Dial. Let me hit her up and see what she's doing."
Yeah, yeah, yep. And that I have my OnlyFans. That obviously just exclusive content there. I do let people know that right now I am only doing solo for now.
Mhm.
For
Yeah.
now.
Well,
But
they should feel privileged that you're even doing that because you're Nikki Dialing.
Yeah.
You can do what
Yes.
you want.
I best favorites though. They're so supportive. So
Yeah.
And let me ask you, Nikki, you do solo content. Does that mean that you play with toys? You do that kind of solo stuff?
listen, I try to get as good as I can get with when I do solo. I have a male torso. I've named him, and so I have him that I work with, and I do things like that. I have a fuck machine that I.
Who do you call him? Torso?
Tom
Tony.
Byron.
Tommy Torso.
And Tony the torso,
And
he gets laid out.
if they want to see more with Tommy Torso, they have to go to onlyfans.com/NikkiDial.
/ see, this is where I fuck up all the time. The official Nikki Dial.
The official Nikki Dial. Okay.
The official Nikki Dial.
The official
Nikki
Nikki
Dial.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Next time I see you, we will do something.
We will.
We
I
did-
said I'm gonna.
Can I watch?
Run around kids.
Remember we did photos for my fan, wasn't it? Like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have those.
We did those.
I sent them to you.
I have.
You put them up on OnlyFans. Tag me in it. Okay. You don't have to tag me. Up. You have to tag the other person. Like I had a bunch of photos of Victoria Harrison at a strip club on stage naked, and then after like
Yeah.
2 months ago, they took them all down because obviously she doesn't have them. Now you have to tag the person in the video photos with you.
You do. And I will say, like at Loyal Fans, one of the things that I like about they don't make you tag the people that you put in your photos. Like I have to tag Tony the torso.
Plus, Loyal Fans has the clip store. You could put movie clips in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sell the clips. That's really the only
Yeah.
reason I'm still on there. But because the webcamming stuff just ain't working out for me.
I like Loyal Fans. I'm working on it, but it's not as easy as an OnlyFans. It takes a little more maneuvering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
To maneuver.
Once I figure,
If you.
I will, and I did talk to the owner that Tom gave me. You know what? In Mexico, I'll have time to just be on the beach and deal with it. A phone in one hand and a drink in the other.
Right on.
Hey,
All right. Well, hey, enjoy yourself in Mexico. In the meantime, do you guys like cannabis products?
No, but Ginger
I do.
does.
Well, you got to check out my sponsor. Well, you can't even see it. Anyways, it's greengenie.newyork.com. Greengenieny.com. That's
Hold
my
it up.
sponsor.
No, hold it up so they don't get mad and just be
But you know
still.
what? Look, you can't
There you
hardly
go.
see because they got the green screen in the background, so you can't hardly because they're green, so it
Okay.
it
all right.
disappears. But they have good gummies and all that good stuff, and it's greengenieny.com, and that's my sponsor. And I failed to mention it on the last podcast, so I want to make sure that I mention my friend JT from greengenieny.com. Say hello, Christy. Say hello, Nikki, to Jim at Green Genie.
Hi, Jim at Green Genie. Okay, and I want to tell
Jim.
everyone you could find me on onlyfans.com/ChristyCanyon11. And Tom, what is your loyal fans? Get it out there.
Loyalfans.com/Tom Byron.
That's easy.
Easy
I'll
peasy.
sign up.
We'll sign up. We'll what do they call it? Collab. Or actually, there's a
You
thing
can-
where you can share going online and whatnot. It's called
Going
what's
online.
it? It's called Cam something. But I noticed it.
Cam
Yes,
sharing.
I noticed it this weekend when I was trying to fucking camp in the store. There's a thing where you can go online with somebody at the same time. So maybe we should do that. I'll give it another shot.
All three do it. We'll get creative.
Hey.
I have to say, I love our core group. I adore the new people. There's nothing like our generation.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-mm.
That is just
Mm-mm.
my
Well, it was great seeing both of you guys.
You too, Tom.
Christy.
I will
And
we'll try and do this from Mexico, but we'll see. You never know.
we'll give it a shot, man. That's what this is guerrilla style.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very
Have
much,
fun.
guys.
Bye, you guys.
Thank you,
Have a good
Tom.
one.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.